So the Rangnick's come then, it's your second manager, it's not working, the results aren't great. You're still scoring goals regularly for Manchester United. You're about the only one who is. But then you get hit by an awful episode in your life, probably the worst time of your life, where your partner, Georgina, she's pregnant with twins and is actually giving birth to these two babies. And your baby son doesn't survive. And I don't think I can imagine, I have 4 kids, you have a lot of children, you know, you can't imagine a worse thing to happen than to go a full term of a pregnancy, particularly for the poor mother in that case, but also for you. What was that like for you, that time in your life?
It's probably the worst moment that I passed through my life since my father died. You know, when you have a kid, that you expect that everything will be normal, and you have that problem. It's hard, you know, as human being that I am. Me and Georgina, we had quite difficult moments because we don't understand why happened to us. Was difficult, to be honest. Was very, very difficult to understand what's going on in that period of our life. As you know, the football carry on. They are so fast, many competitions. The football don't stop. We have many competitions. And pass through in that moment was probably the most difficult moment that I had in my life. Me and my family, especially Gio, that was tough.
She said she was giving an interview about the new series of her TV show. And she said in an interview, a big piece of my heart shattered. And I asked myself how I could carry on. I had the answer nearer than I thought. I looked into the eyes of my children, and there I saw the only way of doing it, being all together.
Yeah, I saw too. Yeah, this is why what we did. I grew up my family, especially Gio, and we had the difficult moments, but we said, listen, we have more kids. We have one that born, Bella, that we have to be happy too.
I mean, such a difficult situation again, where you're mourning the terrible loss of your little baby boy, but also celebrating the birth of your beautiful daughter.
I try to explain sometimes to my family and even my close friends. They say, I never felt to be happy and sad in the same moment.
Yes.
I never felt. It's hard to explain.
So difficult.
So difficult. You don't know if you cry or you don't know if you smile.
Yes.
Because it's something that you don't know how to react. You don't know what to do, to be honest. And of course, I remember very well that I look like, I don't know the word to define what I felt in that moment, but it's crazy feelings, it's crazy emotional. But as I told you before, I have to hold that we had at least Bella,
yes,
which is the most important. One die and one survive, but it's difficult to explain.
How did you explain it all to your other children? They must have been so confused about it.
In the beginning, Gio arriving home and the kids start to say, where's another baby, where's another baby? Of course, Cristiano, I had conversation with him in the day, because he's 12 years old, he knows, he understands everything. And I had a nice conversation with him. We cried together in his bedroom, and he explained, and it's kind of, he didn't understand. He understand, but in the same way, he was a little bit confused. The other ones in the beginning, in the table, the kids start to say, Mom, where is the other baby, blah, blah, blah. And Gio, in the beginning, they start to say, because, you know, she had a little bit belly, because they had 2, it's hard process. And after 1 week, I say, you know, let's be frontal, let's be honest with the kids. Let's say that Angel, which is the name, they go to the heaven. It's better to say in that way.
Yeah.
And we start to use in that way, and the kids always understand when we had shots in the table, and they say, Daddy, I did this for Angel, and they point out for the sky, which is I I say, and I like it the most because you know it's part of the lives, and I'm not gonna lie to my kids to say the truth, which was a difficult process. But in the same way, I become more father, more friendly of them. They become more close to his daddy, especially me with Georgine as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that because these things they can make or break relationships because the grief can be so intense. It can drive couples apart or it can bring them closer.
In my case, it was better in that way. I become more friendly of Gio. I was of course friend, but I see more lovely for her and for my kids, and I start to see the life with a different perspective. You understand, which is coming the point of, if you're gonna ask me for sure, the pre-season moments.
Yes.
For example, why I didn't go to the pre-season.
Yes, I'm going to come to that. Yeah.
But it was just to finish in that chapter was the most difficult moment, the last since my dad died. It was this moment that I passed through the last 6 months.
Do you feel your son is with you in spirit? Do you feel
For
that?
sure, for sure. His ashes is with me, like my daddy. They are here in
Really?
my house. Yes, yes. It's something that I want to hold for the rest of my life. I'm not throw to the ocean or to the sea. I keep with me. They are next to my daddy. I didn't know if you check. I have a small church down, and I.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do.
Like a little chapel?
Yes,
Huh.
chapel, and I keep my daddy and my son.
Do you talk to them?
Yes, I do. I talk with them every time, and that they are in my side. They are, they help me to be a better man, to be a better person, to be a better father, and it's something that I'm really, really proud that the message that they send me, especially my son.
Amazing. You had an extraordinary reaction from football fans, obviously from Manchester United, but I think you must have been just so surprised by the outpouring of not just support, but Liverpool fans sang on the 7th minute of their next game, "You'll never walk alone." The cop, the great infamous enemy of Manchester United. What did you feel when you heard that?
I never ever expect that. Never. I had the opportunity now to say, all English community, thank you a lot for that kind of that they had with me, not only Liverpool, but all England. I
I was at Arsenal when you played, and on the 7th minute, the whole crowd
I
were
received
applauding you.
a letter from the Queen family as well.
Really?
Yes, I do. Which is
From the Queen herself? Or?
yeah, family,
Yeah.
and surprised me a lot.
Offering their condolences.
Yes.
Wow.
Unbelievable. This is why I say I respect a lot the English community, English people, because they've been very kind with me, and in that difficult moment on my life was spectacular. The way they treat me and my family in that difficult moments. I should say straight to the crowd and thank you to the all English community that helped me in that moment.
When the Queen sadly died in September, you posted a very nice tribute to her. Was part of the reason because of what they had been like with you?
Of course, they've been so kind of with me, and this is why I did what I did. But it was unbelievable moment. I'm never ever gonna forget that moment.
You have a little girl, Bella. She's 6 months old now. Must be a great joy amid all that terrible sadness.
Unbelievable. It was another member in the family. They are the shine of the house, and we are so proud. Me, Georgina, and all my kids. They are very, very proud for them. They are spectacular. A beautiful girl, and we are so happy. We are so happy. We are happy fathers.
You're going to have more?
I'm not thinking now thinking more kids. I think we done, but we never know. The future only God knows. But right now we want to have a break, to enjoy these ones because they are little, Bella 6 and the rest they are 5 and Cristiano 12. We want to enjoy a little bit of these ones. Let's see the future.
It's very difficult to play top level football at the best of times.